My granddaughter is swimming over here. They've got a high school swimming.
Well, I saw a bus from
Yeah.
Big River.
And what they're doing is they're streaming it because you can't watch the person. They're streaming it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
So you can watch the race on YouTube.
That's cool.
That's gonna be hard on those parents though, for like seniors in high school to not be able to go watch your kid compete in their last season.
It's hard on grandparents too.
Yeah. Glad mine's chosen outdoor sports so that we can still attend at their home.
Now I tried to get her into tennis, but she wanted to swim.
Yeah. She didn't have the down.
So Dan Wenner, can you hear us?
I can, Bruce, loud and clear.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
It looks like you're sitting lakeside with a cocktail in your hand. Is that correct?
Only in my mind.
Oh, okay. And Larry can hear us, I guess, right?
Yes, I can hear you fine. I hope you can hear me as well.
Yes. Carrie, do we have anybody that's coming on other than these two on Zoom?
Not that I've seen yet.
Okay. Alrighty.
Bruce, the only one that I sent out a link to will be under business item A. Plan. I don't know if he'll join or not, but I sent out a link to that individual.
Okay, it's 6:30, so we'll get the planning commission called to order. This is a hybrid meeting as we've had for seems like the last forever. We have Dan Wenner, a planning commission member on Zoom, as well as Larry Remen, our planning and zoning administrator on Zoom. And we have a quorum of planning commission members either on Zoom or here in person. And so we'll open the meeting. First couple of items for planning commission members or for anybody in the audience. The items discussed today will also be discussed at the Community Development Committee meeting on September 3rd at 4 o'clock, which will be in this room. And also on September 8th at 5 o'clock at the City Council meeting, which will also be in this room. With that, I'll move into the first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on July 23rd, 2020. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I'd be looking for a motion.
I'm only make a motion to approve.
Motion by Don.
Second.
Okay. Second by Eric. Any further discussion? If not, I assume we have to take a roll call here because Dan's on Zoom. Dan, are you in favor of the minutes?
I am. Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Bruce? Aye. Thank you. One thing, Larry, I forgot to bring up, the Planning Commission meeting in September. Is that still going to be the 4th Thursday?
Yes,
Okay, great. Thank you. And that, I believe, would be September 24th. All right.
that is correct.
First item on the agenda is the consideration to rezoning from RA Agricultural Residential District to Low Density Residential District at 609 Terry Street. Larry, would you please lay out this issue for us?
Yes, the Detroit Lake City Council has initiated the rezoning of 609 Terry Street. This was on our agenda previously to be rezoned multifamily, and that was voted down by the City Council. The residents in that area have asked that it be rezoned to a low-density residential district, and we thought that the best way to deal with this was to be upfront and make that change now so we don't have to keep revisiting that issue. Most of the residential districts in the city of Detroit Lakes are zoned R2. There is one R1 district, and that is the Broadway Avenue district. And if you look at the staff report that went out in your packet, there's a zoning map that shows that. The minimum lot size in the R1 and the R2 district is 7,500 square feet, and the minimum lot width is 60 feet. Based on the layout of this property and the size of lots that you would be able to plat in here, most of the lots would be 70 to 80 feet wide and 109 feet deep, or maybe a little less. The setback requirement in the R1 district for a rear yard is 50 feet, while the setback requirement in the R2 district is 30 feet. So if you put a 50-foot rear yard setback on these properties in an R1 district, the only building area you would have would be 1,500 square feet, whereas with an R2 zoning, you would have 2,500 square feet of usable space. So it is the recommendation of the staff that this area be zoned R2 so that people have the ability to build a nice sized home with an attached garage.
Okay, thank you, Larry. All right, this is a public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing up to, if there's anyone in the public that wants to address this issue, comment on it, they would be welcome to come to the podium here, state their name and address, and give us their opinion, or if they have a question, they're certainly welcome to do that too.
My name is Sheila Lurkey. I live at 712 Broadway Avenue. Broadway is directly adjacent to the east to the Terry Street parcel. The residents of Broadway are in support of this rezoning, but we preferably would like it from agriculture to R1. Broadway is R1, and this would make the future developments of the Terry property consistent with the existing neighborhood. Thank you for your time and consideration on this matter.
Thank you, Sheila. Anyone else in the audience wish to address the issue of the rezoning at 609 Terry Street?
For the record, my name is John Vaz, 608 Broadway Avenue. Thanks, Mr. Chair and council members. I live at just south of this proposed rezoning area, and I'm in agreement with Sheila. I've been talking to all of the neighbors about RR1 versus RR2. They all recommend RR1 just because it's, you know, what we all have RR1, and we'd certainly like to see it consistent throughout the neighborhood. We know that there's some tight constraints there, but we believe that it's not going to stop people from building houses on that side. And we're not against having neighbors. We'd certainly like to have neighbors, but we'd just like to make sure it's RR1. So thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks, John. Anyone else in the audience wish to address the issue of the rezoning at 609 Terry Street? And do we have anybody online, Carrie, at all? Okay. If I don't hear any further public comment, I'll close the public hearing and open it to discussion by Planning Commission members. Anyone have a question or comment they want to throw out on this issue?
I guess I got a question for Larry. Just looking at this map, and property northwest adjacent to the subject looks like it's RA2 and it has residential structures on it. Is that correct, Larry?
Yeah, that is correct.
Shouldn't that be zone R1 or R2?
It certainly could be. It's been left RA only because it's a transition zone, and it maybe was thought that something different would go in there.
Oh, Larry, this is Bruce. The question for you is, so all the other residential districts in the city are basically R2, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Do you know when this other Broadway was zoned R1?
I think that was back in the 70s or 80s.
Okay. If this came up again as R1 with the lot sizes and setback, as you mentioned earlier, would we be looking at any R1s in any other area of the city?
I don't believe that we would. The R1 zone was really designed to be larger lots. That's why they have the larger setback requirement. And this piece of property is not suitable for lots with a lot of depth in them because there just isn't room to put in the street and have lots that meet that kind of requirement. So certainly not this area, and I can't think of any other areas that would be requesting R1 zoning.
No, and that was my question is as a planning developer, if someone came to you with a new development and wanted to zone it R1, would you be recommending that?
No, I would say generally I would recommend R2.
And my final question, just, for those on the planning commission that may not know, what exactly is allowed in the R2 district in terms of residential development?
The residential development in an R2 district allows single-family homes and twin homes. A single-family home has to have 7,500 square feet of space to be buildable, while a twin home has to have at least 12,000 square feet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I've got a question. So at this point, it's just a wide open canvas. There's no division of lots. That comes when you find a developer that wants to develop it and then lays out the different projected lots for each house.
That is correct.
And then the comment that this would be appropriate for a cul-de-sac, I'm having a hard time understanding. Does that mean you're going to put a road right down the middle and there's houses on either side? Because this does not look like a very large piece of property. Can you explain the comment about that it would have to have a cul-de-sac?
The normal development would be to put a road down the middle, have lots on either side that would be approximately 109 feet deep for each lot. The reason for that is that if you put a road in with only houses on one side, then they have to pay for the entire road instead of half the road, and it increases the special assessments for each lot, which is not real efficient. All of the proposed plans that I have seen for this, other than multifamily, have included a cul-de-sac or a road down the middle of the lot.
Yeah, so just to be clear, our function tonight is to rezone this, and I guess the question on the table is, do you want it to be R1 or R2? And I looking for input from planning commission members, but I'll speak my piece here. Well, I thought this wasn't appropriate for multifamily with the RM designation. I do think we should rezone it R2. I think that's basically what most of the city, well, all the cities except for this one area, and there is a little more flexibility in the R2 zoning than there would be in R1, and I just would be, in my opinion, I think if we're trying to carve out R1 districts in the city, we've got some other people that would make that argument too. So I would prefer it to be R2 is my opinion.
Larry, question from Dan here. So if you put a road down the middle, would you have room for 109-foot deep lots on both sides of that road?
That's correct. That's the analysis that's been done.
Yep.
Yes.
And that'd be pretty typical for the city, wouldn't it?
It's not atypical, and especially now that people are trying to have relatively smaller lots in some cases just because of the maintenance.
Yep.
And because of the amount of special assessments, which are getting higher all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, the older I get, the smaller lot I want. You're right. So anyway, yeah, I think with that 109-foot deep lot in R2 would make sense in this area too.
Anybody else have comments or questions? If not, I'd be looking for some type of motion. You're either a motion to rezone it to R1, a motion to rezone it to R2, or a motion to leave it as it is.
Yeah. Bruce, I'll make the motion to take and rezone this to R2.
Motion by Dan Wenner, second by
Second.
Eric. Okay, thank you. All right, we have a motion on the table. Anyone have any further comments? If not, I'll take a vote. Dan, we'll start with you. Are you in favor of the motion?
I am. Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Chris? Aye. Don?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Bruce? Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, so at least the folks at,
Hey, Bruce? Bruce? I'm showing Bob Weasel on the line here.
is Bob Louise? I'm sorry, Bob, are you in favor of the motion?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Good deal. I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier. We're missing your beautiful face.
Well, I'll believe part of that, Bruce.
Right. Thanks for coming, folks. All right, we're on to item A, consideration of revised site plan for Lakes Toy Storage at 1852 and 1854 Nottaway Drive. Larry?
Yes, Lake's Toy Storage got approval of a conditional use permit to put up storage condominiums. And on their plan, they listed 45% impervious surface coverage. That was just their initial plan. What they really wanted was approval to be able to mitigate up to whatever our ordinance would allow, as long as they met our mitigation requirements. So they now have a revised site plan, and it shows 53.7% impervious surface. That is approximately 3,000 square feet of additional impervious surface on the site. And what they've done basically is the driveway that went in between the two buildings used to be split. And they felt that for circulation and ease of access, it would be better to just fill that in and allow that all as access. In order to do that, they will need to revise their land disturbance permit and also request a new mitigation permit to meet these new impervious surface limits that they've put on the property. It looks like a good plan, and I would recommend approval of their revised site plan.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Is there anyone here to speak that wants to speak to the issue of the Lakes Toy Storage revised site plan? Anyone in the audience or anyone online? Okay, if not, planning commission members.
So I have a question. With the increased impervious surface, I know that the neighbors to the north, that's another storage unit, were concerned about runoff on their property. Has that been addressed?
Yeah, this will not change the runoff. The runoff will not be going on to the north. They would have catchment basins to catch the stormwater runoff.
Anyone wish to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Eric,
I'll second.
second by Chris. Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, favor of the motion, Dan Wenner,
Aye.
Bob Louiso,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Bruce Imholt abstains. Please note that, Jen. Okay, thank you. All right, we're on to item B, is discussion relative to amendments to the 2000 comprehensive plan related to updating the future land use map and the neighborhood plans as they relate to high density residential land use. It's a lot of words there, Larry. What do you have to tell us?
Well, essentially, the city council has asked us to take a look at the comprehensive plan as it relates to high-density residential land uses. And so if you'll take a look at the staff report in your packet, we've listed 18 different potential high-density residential land use areas. Some of them are already listed on the comprehensive plan, but there is a list of 8 or 9 areas that are in addition to what was on the comprehensive plan. So the recommendation from the staff would be that we delete a couple of areas that are listed as high-density residential, including 609 Terry Street that we just acted on earlier, and that we add some of these other areas either as high-density residential or as mixed use, where it could be either high-density residential or commercial or a mix of uses, like we have at Midtown and McKinley Plaza or something similar to that. This is just a general discussion. If we can come to some sort of agreement of what we want to see happen, staff will put together a revised land use map, and we will have a public hearing and talk about it in detail at our next meeting. So what are your wishes?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think we should reanalyze it, re-up it. It looks like the other item you're taking off the high density would be the Sherrill Avenue, Larry?
Yeah, Sherrill Avenue, that particular area is located in an airport zone where high-density residential use would not be allowed. And what we would do then is move that area of high-density development over onto Legion Road into that area where it would be allowed.
And then Larry, if we are going to take up this issue with the next planning commission, how do we notify the public? Just in a general release, we don't notify everybody in all these neighborhoods, do we?
We just notify the public through the newspaper advertisement.
Okay.
And on our webpage.
All right. Planning commission members, would you like to see this discussed at the next meeting?
I would.
Yeah, we got a consensus, Larry, that I don't think we're taking a vote on it. You're just looking for direction here, correct?
Correct.
Yep. So it sounds like we would like to review that and have a public hearing at our September 24th meeting.
Very good.
Thank you for bringing that up and following through. Anything on the variance conditional use report, Larry, that you would like to point out to us?
No, the only outstanding item that we're still working with quite a bit is the Midtown project. We're still working on the stormwater drainage and on their landscape area. So we may be revisiting that at some point in the near future.
Go ahead, Nancy.
No, I'm just
I thought you had a question.
exercising.
Okay. All right. Okay, Larry, anything else that's not on the agenda you want to bring to our attention?
Not at this time, thank you.
Dan Wenner,
Nothing. Thank you.
Bob Luizo.
Nothing.
Okay. Nancy, you had an item.
Larry, I just wanted to follow up. I had a neighbor that called me about a possible construction on Shorewood Drive of a building down by the lake. I can't remember the exact number, 260 something Shorewood Drive. She contacted you and you were going to get back to her as to whether that was a building that was put up on a previous building site.
Do you recall the address?
Might be at 292, Larry. I'm thinking that might be the number, 292.
I want to say 260 something.
260, okay.
262 maybe.
It's one
266.
west of 268 or one south of 268.
It was a lot that was sold last year. They
Yep.
put up some fencing and there is a,
There
Quote-
was a shed down by the lake and they rebuilt it. And I don't know if they used the original footprint or expanded upon it, but I noticed that last week when I was in the neighborhood.
I will follow up on that and have a report for you next month.
yeah. Okay.
Well, in the meantime, maybe if you find something out, can you follow up with Nancy directly since she had the
Yeah, I
input
can
Well,
from-
send-
I believe Carol Berggren is the one that, she contacted me and I told her, I talked to Bruce and she said to call you. I followed up with her and you were on vacation and she was waiting for you to get back to her. So I talked to the neighbor. The neighbor was unsure if the building was put on the same footprint and, or if it was
That would be the
larger, but
only
it's a
way that it-
pretty
would
fancy
be-
little storage shed.
Yeah, that would be the only way that it would be allowed is if they put up the same thing that they had before.
Yeah, if you would check on that, it looks big.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Oh, you got it?
Okay, anything else, Nancy?
That's all I have.
Don?
Yep, that's it.
Chris?
Nope,
Eric, anything?
I'm good, thanks.
Kelsey, do you have anything for Planning Commission?
No.
All right, thank you, Carrie, as always, for hanging in there with us. Jen, also the same. We're adjourned.